Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ryan Awesome, and welcome to the Ryan Awesome Show. Now, today on the Ryan Awesome Show, I'll be talking about AEW Dynamite for April 7th, 2021. Now, overall, man, it was a good show, but it was not better than Takeover. It was not better than Takeover. But we did have some great things that happened on this show. We did have some great matches, but at the end of the day, man, it was not better than Takeover. And so yeah, we had the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle, their feud going on. They announced the Blood and Guts match. And then yeah, we had the TNT Championship match with Darby Allin and JD Drake and all that stuff. But yeah, it was a good show, but it was not better than Takeover. And so yeah, so this is the AEW Dynamite review for April 7th, 2021. This is a late review because this is WrestleMania week, and I've been busy, man, during WrestleMania week. So yeah, this is the AEW Dynamite review for April 7th, 2021 on The Ryan Awesome Show. And if you haven't done this already, man, what are you waiting for, dude? Hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you be the first ones to know when my next video will come out. Because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And so yeah, man. We started off the show. So yeah, first off we had the Inner Circle. We had the Inner Circle, they showed up. And they were led by motorcycles. So you had the motorcycles showed up first and they were leading the Inner Circle. And so the Inner Circle they had came out in cars and stuff. Yeah, Hager he had came out in a truck. It was a black truck, so they all came out in black vehicles. So Hager he had came out in like a black truck. Santana and Ortiz they came out in like SUVs. Guevara he had came out in a car, I think. And Jericho he had came out in it looked like a Lamborghini. It was either a Lamborghini or a Bentley or a McLaren. It was one of those cars. And so yeah, they were all dressed in black, so that was really cool. Black is one of my favorite colors. So yeah, they were all black and they look really cool, man. And so yeah, that was the start of the show. And so our first match on the show, it was Hangman Adam Page versus Max Caster of the Acclaim with Anthony Bowens in his corner. And with the Acclaim, man, I love their entrance, dude. I love the entrance. Them coming out rapping to their opponents. I like that stuff. I'm not gonna repeat what they said, cause I can't say what they said. And so yeah, we started off the match. We had, Max Caster, he was talking trash to Hangman Adam Page in his rap. And so Hangman Page, he was getting sick and tired of it. And so Page, he had took out Caster and Bowens. And so the bell had rung. And so, yeah, Page, he had took control of the match. And we had a follow-away slam to Caster, followed up by a big boot to Caster. And so, yeah, Caster, he was fighting back. He was throwing Page into the guardrail, so they were fighting outside the ring. And we had a clothesline to Caster from the guardrail. So they were on the guardrail. So he had Caster sat on the guardrail, and so Hangman Adam Page he had jumped off the guardrail to clothesline him. And so yeah, that was a nice spot. And so so Anthony Bowens, he had gotten involved in a match, and the referee didn't see it. Yeah, Bowens he had threw Page into the guardrail, and so yeah, and then we had a spine buster to Caster. So Page he fought back. He had a spine buster on Caster. And then he followed it up with an exploded suplex to Caster, and Caster he had kicked out of that. And then yeah, they were going back and forth, fighting on the ring apron with strikes. And then Page he had slammed Caster on the ring apron. And then, Bowens he had distracted Page at one point. And so yeah, we had a superplex to Page, so Caster he had took advantage of it by giving Page a superplex. And so yeah, we had a lariat in midair to Max Caster. So Max Caster he was trying to go for a high flying move, and then he got caught with a lariat from Page. And so yeah, and so Page he tried to go for his other finishing move, the Deadeye, that air raid crash. And so yeah, Bowens he had slid in the boombox that they used. The boombox he had slid in the boombox, and yeah, and they try to fight over it. Page and Caster they try to fight over it, and then yeah, we had Bowens he had slid in. He had slid in chain like a chain. He had slid it in, and so yeah, Caster he had used the chain. He had used the chain behind the referee's back. so the referee didn't see it, and so he had rolled up Page, and then Page had kicked out. And so yeah, and then not Bowens, Cassidy tried to go for his finishing move, that elbow drop, that diving elbow drop, the mic drop. And so yeah, and then Page, he had moved out of the way, so he saw what was coming, so he moved out of the way. And then we had Page try to go for the buckshot lariat, but Bowens had stopped him, had grabbed on his leg, and so Page had took out Bowens, and so he ended up hitting the buckshot lariat anyway on Cassidy to win the match. So Adam Hangman Page wins the match, and that was it. Yeah, good match to start off the show. Now they did mention on commentary that Adam Page is the #1 contender for the AEW World Championship. So is Page gonna be the one to take the title off of Omega? I don't think so. But we all saw it coming that Page was, we all knew he was gonna go up against Omega, because that was that's the money match right there, Page versus Omega. But yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that, man, we had Tony Schiavone. He came out to the ring. He introduced the Death Triangle. They came out to the ring. Pac, Ray Fenix, and Pentagon. And they were talking about the AEW World Tag Team Championships with Ray Fenix and Pac, them being #1 contenders and earning their spots. And so yeah, the Best Friends had interrupted. So Orange Cassidy had came out to his theme music, his new theme music. And so yeah, I still don't like it when people interrupt a promo with a theme music. I don't like it. But yeah, they came out to their theme music, and so yeah, the Best Friends came out with Chris Statlander, and so they want a championship match. They want a tag team title match too. And so yeah, and Pac, he was saying, you guys don't deserve an opportunity. If you want a championship match, you're gonna have to prove yourself. You're gonna have to go in the back of the line and prove yourself and stuff. And so yeah, and the Best Friends, they were going on and on about how they had the most wins in the tag team division. They had the most wins, so they deserve a shot. And yeah, that was it. And yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that, we had the Inner Circle. They came out to the ring. Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Jake Hager, Proud and Powerful, Santana and Ortiz. And they came out of the babyface tunnel. Because they're babyfaces now. They're good guys. And so yeah, they came out to the ring. And so yeah, Jericho, to start off the promo, Jericho, he said that, the Inner Circle, they have a lot to say before he said they had a lot to say. And he said right after the break. We have a lot to say, but right after the break. And so I laughed out loud at that moment. That was funny. And so yeah, we came back from commercial break. And so Jericho and the Inner Circle, they had something to say about the Pinnacle. Well, Jericho, he had spoke the entire time.
And we are back in black, baby. And it was only one short month ago when we were in this ring and given the beatdown of a lifetime by the Pineapple.
The Pineapple, the Pinnacle.
The Pinnacle.
The Pineapple.
And that beatdown taught us a lot. It gave us hospital stays, it gave us stitches, but most importantly, it gave us a wake-up call. It made us realize we had made a lot of bad decisions over the previous 6 months, decisions that hurt a lot of people, insulted a lot of people, and for that we apologize to everybody, including all of you.
Apologize? When the last time you heard Chris Jericho apologize?
Those decisions were caused by MJF. My jerk-off friend.
The jerk-off friend.
And you see, my jerk-off friend says he outsmarted us because he's much more intelligent than me. And he's right, I'm not smart at certain things. High school chemistry, I was terrible. My teacher even asked me after I failed another test, "Are you on dope?" That's an exact quote. I wasn't, I just wasn't very smart in chemistry. Were you smart in chemistry? No, exactly. Who is? But what I am smart in is pro wrestling, the psychology and the business of pro wrestling. And that's why I brought MJF, my jerk-off friend, into the Inner Circle. It wasn't to take him under my wing. It was to keep him under my thumb. Because I know how dangerous my jerk-off friend is. I know how good he is. I know how much personality and potential he has. And I wanted to use him for every ounce of his being and suck all of his life out into the Inner Circle. And we had it perfectly planned. We knew he would eventually figure it out, and he'd show his true colors, and we were ready to kick his ass. But what we didn't think about is that he would be one step ahead of us. And we got outsmarted. Outsmarted by a man who can do everything, except for apparently put on a spray tan. Because a few weeks ago, when he was in this ring, he was oranger than Cassidy with more streaks than the bottom of that toilet bowl that I shoved his face into last week. I can't wait for the chance to swirly when he comes back out here in front of you guys.
We have a swirly chin.
You see, MJF is only 25 years old. Think about that. When I was 25, I was still having wet dreams, but yet here he is, 25 years old, at the pinnacle of the pro wrestling business.
Wink,
See
wink.
what I did there? But here's the thing. MJF, you consider yourself to be a fine wine. You said you're going to get better with age, but the problem is you don't want to wait for the age. You want it now. You want to be better than the GOAT now. You want to be better than Chris Jericho now. Well, those are some big, big shoes to fill, my man. You got to go smaller. Take baby steps. Be better than Peter Avalon. Be better than Michael Nakazawa. Be better than that stupid Burberry scarf you've been wearing for a few years. It's tired, it's old, it's stale, and it sucks.
Oh.
Time to change it up. And besides, I was rocking the scarf gimmick 5 years ago, and if you're so much superior than me, why are you stealing my man? That's lame. But I got an old clipboard in the back. If you want to take that and add it to the list of gimmicks that you stole from Le Champion, go for it. You see, you're not as good as you think you are, Max. You believe your own hype. I see you listening to the critics. I see you listening to the fans online. Oh my gosh, you would beeline to the back after every match and promo you ever had to check how people thought you did. You know what? We call that in the pro wrestling business being a mark.
Oh.
But I'm going to change that to call it being a max. Because you, my friend, are a max for yourself.
A max for yourself.
And the true issue is this. Max, you know, you'll never, ever be better than Chris Jericho. You'll never be better than me, and you know it.
Ah.
And that's causing the fine wine in your brain to ferment and sour, which is so apropos, because look at the sour men you've aligned yourself with, my jerk-off friend. Let's talk about Tully Blanchard, shall we? You said he's the greatest mind in pro wrestling history. Really? Seriously? He's really nothing more than the third string member of the Four Horsemen, right?
Oh, wow.
Ranking somewhere between Ole Anderson and Paul Roma.
Oh, wow.
Then you got FTR, maybe one of the greatest tag teams in the world today, but they're completely interchangeable. I can't tell which one is which. They're like AEW's version of the Jonas Brothers in that I know they're good, I know they make money, but I don't know their names. Are you Dax? Are you Cash? Are you Axe? Are you Smash? Are you Axel? Are you Slash? I don't know! And then, of course, there's Spears, Sean Spears. He's got such a great upside, they say. I've never seen it. The only thing I've seen from Spears is his number on my phone when he called me after getting fired from the Fed 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
For advice. You know, aligning yourself with my jerk-off friend, Sean Spears, is about as good a decision as rocking a blonde mohawk in 2021. And then there's Wardlow. Oh, yes, of course. He's got $1 million brain and a 13-cent body. And guess what? He's so stupid, he has to strip completely naked to count to 21. Think about it. I've seen him do it.
Oh, my God.
Compare that to my inner circle, the new inner circle that's going to dominate AEW once again with the help of all of you behind us. We know the Pinnacle is good. We know they're going to beat the crap out of us. We don't care. We like to fight. The bottom line is we're going to shove the faces of the Pinnacle up each other's asses and form a human centipede with MJF in the back. You want blood? You want violence? You got it. Because we've been waiting for a match since March 25th of last year. Why play grab ass anymore? You want blood and violence? You're going to get it. May 5th, right here in Daly's Place. First time ever, Pinnacle versus Inner Circle in a blood and guts match. We are the Inner Circle. We are back in black. We've been gone too long and we're glad to be back. We're going to beat the living because like we told you last week, the worst is yet to come, and God help you for it.
And that was it. That was it from Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle. So we have a match, blood and guts match with the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle on May 5th. And that blood and guts match that we all have been talking about for months. You know, that was supposed to happen, you know, last year before the pandemic. And, you know, if they want to do blood and guts, they might have to leave the Daily's Place. I don't think the Daily's Place is big enough for 2 rings and a cage. I don't think it's big enough, so they might have to move somewhere else. But I guess they're gonna try to make it work. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this match, man. Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle, man. Man, take my money, man. Take all of it. And Jericho on the mic, man. Man, Jericho is always great on the mic. Jericho is the best at everything. Everything he does, he's the best. Nobody can touch him, man. On commentary, in the ring, Jericho is one of the greatest of all time, dude, to ever do it. And so, yeah, man. So it's going to be a blood and guts match. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so, yeah, right after that, we had a backstage interview. And it was from Dasha Gonzalez. She interviews Christian Cage. And so, yeah, she had asked, you know, Christian, what's next for him? Like, what's next for him? And so, yeah, Christian, he was talking. He was telling Dasha what he's going to do next. And so Taz had interrupted Christian Cage. And, you know, he wants to recruit. He wants to recruit Christian Cage to Team Taz. And so, yeah, he said, you know, he told Christian, you don't have to answer this right now. You don't have to answer it right now. Just wait. Just wait. Sleep on it. But let us know, like, if you want to join Team Taz or not. And so, yeah, that was it with that. Christian being a part of Team Taz, no, God, no. Christian does not need to be in a group. Team Taz is built around the younger guys. Christian is not a young guy. He's not a young guy. Christian is more of a lone wolf, in my opinion. He's more of a lone wolf, and he needs to be alone. You know, he has aligned himself with people in the past, but right now, you know, during his stage, you know, during his point in his career, he needs to be alone. He don't need to be aligned with nobody, because he's been aligned with people, you know, his entire career. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so, yeah, right after this, we had a match. It was a tag team match, and it was the Godzilla versus the Kong match. It was a Godzilla versus Kong match. That's what they named the match as, and it was Jurassic Express, Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus versus Bear Country. That's Boulder and Bronson. And yeah, I love Jungle Boy's theme music. Tarzan Boy, I love the theme music. Like, when we had fans back, dude, everybody would start singing his theme music. And so, yeah, this was good. This was a beefy match. We had some big guys in this match. And so, yeah, we had two tope suicidas to Bronson from Jungle Boy. And we had a top rope dive on Bear Country from Luchasaurus, which was crazy. Seeing a guy his size going for an outside move. And we had a botch move from Boulder. So yeah, Boulder, he was supposed to catch Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus at the same time, but he ended up catching Jungle Boy. And yeah, he caught Jungle Boy. And yeah, Luchasaurus, he didn't catch Luchasaurus. He had dropped Luchasaurus. And so, yeah, so Bear Country, they took control of the match. And so, yeah, and we had a hot tag to Luchasaurus. And he took out Bear Country with kicks. And we had a superplex to Luchasaurus from Boulder. And then, yeah, we had a springboard DDT to Bronson from Jungle Boy. And we had a Death Valley driver to one of the Bear Country guys. And we had a cannonball. We had a cannonball to Bear Country. No, a cannonball from Bear Country to Luchasaurus. And so, yeah, both teams, they're going back and forth. And we had a choke slam follow up by a standing moonsault to Bronson from Luchasaurus to win the match. So Jurassic Express wins the match, and that was it. Great match. And Jurassic Express, I could see them. I could see them going after the tag team titles. Now that the Bucks have turned, I could see them going after the tag team titles. But I'm gonna get into that later. And so yeah, right after that we had a backstage segment, and it was QT Marshall. It was QT Marshall and his guys, his faction. And yeah, so it was QT Marshall, Nick Comoroto, Anthony Ogogo, and Aaron Solo. They were backstage in a Nightmare Factory. And so yeah, they were introducing the guys to us. Talking about Anthony Ogogo, him being an Olympic boxer, and Aaron Solo. From now on, Aaron Solo is not going to be known as someone's boyfriend. Because his entire career he's been known as Bailey's boyfriend. But they're not together anymore. So, and then Nick Comoroto, Powerhouse, he mentioned, and so yeah, that was in the Nightmare Factory, the Nightmare Factory, and so QT Marshall, he says, this is my factory, this is our factory, and so Nick Comoroto, he had paint, he had some blue paint, and it was a bucket of blue paint, and so he had poured the bucket of blue paint on a Nightmare Factory logo on the wall, so that was it with that. And so yeah, next week is gonna be Anthony Ogogo. He's gonna be in action. And so yeah, right after that, we had Tony Schiavone. He interviews Sting, like always. And so yeah, he interviews Sting.
We come interrupt. You do nothing but keep your mouth shut, or in your case, shut your hole. Where's your little gerbil friend at? He looks like a little gerbil. They say insanity, and I am a crazy son of a bitch. But they say insanity is when you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you expect different results.
You know what? It's enough, Jake. If that's the definition of insanity and you're crazy, I'm one sick son of a bitch. And I'm sick and tired of the agenda in AEW. You bring me in, you put me to the top, and then you take me away. I fight Moxley, and then I go away. I work main event after main event after main event, and then I go away, and I'm done with it. The world's gonna pay attention to the Murder Hawk Monster and Sting. You're going to pay attention to the Murder Hawk Monster because it's my time, Sting. I'm supposed to be in the main event, Sting. This should be me and Schiavone, Sting. You don't need to talk because this is my time, Sting. Listen to me.
Snatched the microphone away from him. From Lance Archer.
Now it's my time. Okay, then say something.
Hey, I am going to say something if you just be slow to speak and quick to hear. Zip up your mouth for a minute. Because I happen to be in full agreement with you. You're a main event guy, and you disappear, and I don't understand that either. Jake, what's the matter with you? What's a dumbfounded look on your face for? Tell him how to do it. No, shut your hole right now.
Shut your hole.
I think you're main event material. I think you got it. I think you just need to help him, Jake. Help him to channel all this energy in the right direction, and he will be in that squared circle, AEW on TNT, in a main event match, and possibly for the world title again, and without any disappearance. Make it happen. Make it showtime. You got it in you, now go do it.
And that was it. That was it with that. Are they gonna do Sting versus Lance Archer? If they're gonna do it, then they need to do it right now, man. And so yeah, we've seen the same thing over and over and over again, week after week. Sting comes out. Tony Schiavone interviews Sting, and then Lance Archer come out and interrupts. Like, dude, it's the same thing every week. Like, they need to do something with them. And so yeah, and then yeah, Jake. Lance Archer, I think they need to get rid of Jake the Snake Roberts, man. Like have Lance Archer speak. like have Lance Archer speak. He could speak for himself now. Like when he first came in AEW, like yeah, he couldn't speak for himself. And that's why you had Jake the Snake Roberts there to do the talking for him. Because nobody knew who Lance Archer was. Like people like me, we knew who Lance Archer was. He came from New Japan Pro Wrestling. But everybody else, like the casual fans, they're not gonna know who Lance Archer was. So that's why they brought Jake the Snake Roberts, like when he came to AEW the first time, to do the talking for him. And so Lance Archer, he grown so much, he don't need Jake the Snake Roberts anymore to speak for him. He could speak for himself, just like what you heard. He spoke well for himself. And so yeah, we might be seeing Sting versus Lance Archer in the future. When is it? I don't know. But we keep seeing the same thing over and over and over again with the interruptions and stuff. And so yeah, that was it with that. And so yeah, right after that, we had Team Taz. They were backstage. And yeah, they were backstage and they were talking about Christian Cage, possibly joining Team Taz. And that was it. Ricky Starks and Brian Cage got into it at one point. And so Taz had to calm them down. Taz and Will Hobbs had to calm them down. And then they ended up talking about Christian Cage possibly joining Team Taz. And so, yeah, that was it with that. And so, yeah, right after this, we had a match. And it was for the TNT Championship. And it was J.D. Drake with Cezar Bononi and Ryan Nemeth, the brother of Dolph Ziggler, versus Darby Allin, who is the TNT champion, with Sting in his corner. And so, yeah, this is a good match. Great showing for J.D. Drake. J.D. Drake, I was looking at J.D. Drake, and I was like, man, this dude, he looks like he should be in FTR. He would fit like a glove in FTR with Tully Blanchard and FTR. I think, yeah, he'll fit well with them. And so, yeah. We had, Allin. He was using his speed against Drake. And we had a chop. We had a chop to Allin. And we had a tope suicida. A nice looking tope suicida to J.D. Drake. And we had J.D. Drake. He took control of the match by giving Darby Allin a shoulder tackle in midair. So Darby Allin, he was going for a top rope move, and J.D. Drake, he had caught him with a shoulder tackle. And then, yeah, Sting, he was out there. And then, yeah, so Sting, he was out there to make sure nothing happened in the match. And so you had Ryan Nemeth and you had Cezar Bononi. They were getting involved at one point. Well, Nemeth, he was getting involved at one point. And so, yeah, Sting, he had chased off Nemeth. Like he scared him off, and so he just started walking after him. He didn't even run after him. He walked after him. And so, yeah, Nemeth, he was crawling away from Sting. And so, yeah, so Drake, he had took control of the match. And then they were going back and forth with slaps. Drake and Allin were. And then Drake, he had threw Allin off the rope. So, yeah, they were fighting outside the ring. He had threw him off of the rope, and he had caught him with a clothesline. So that was cool. And so, yeah, so Drake, he tried to go for the cannonball on a guardrail. And Allin, he had moved out of the way. And so, yeah, we had Allin. He had dove on, Bononi and Drake outside the ring. And then Drake, they were fighting on top of the rope. Drake and Allin were. And then Drake, he had chopped Allin in the back. That, man, getting chopped in the chest hurts. But getting chopped in the back, that probably had to hurt the most. And so, yeah, we had a cannonball to Allin. And then, yeah, Drake, he hit the Vader bomb, paying homage to Vader. Hit the Vader bomb, and then Allin, he had kicked out. And then we had, Drake try to go for the moonsault. And Allin, he had moved out of the way. And then Allin, he was biting at Drake's hand at one point, or his fingers. And we had an avalanche code red to Drake. And he followed it up to end the match, the coffin drop, his finishing move, the coffin drop to J.D. Drake to win the match. So Darby Allin wins and is still the TNT champion. So that was it right there. Great match, man. And so, yeah, so Darby Allin, he was celebrating his title victory. And so, yeah, right after the match, man, he was on the stage and he was holding up the TNT championship, and out of nowhere, you had the Butcher. He had ran over this dude like a truck, man. He ran right over Darby Allin. He blasted him from the side, dude. And so yeah, he was beating down Darby Allin. And so you had the Hardy family office, Matt Hardy and the rest of his guys, a private party. They came out and they were instigating the fight, cheering on the Butcher beating down Darby Allin. And so, yeah, you had the Bunny. She had came out too. she had came to the commentary desk. She was, yelling at Excalibur and JR and Tony Schiavone, telling them to move out the way, like get out the way, move out of the way and stuff. And they were like, no, we're not about to move out of the way. And the Dark Order had came out. The entire Dark Order came out, and they chased off the Hardy family office. And so it was the Dark Order and Tai Conchi. So they chased off the Hardy family office. And so the Bunny, without them knowing that the Dark Order came out, she was still arguing with the commentary team. And so Conti, she attacked, she attacked Bunny. Yeah, she attacked the Bunny right behind. Right from behind. And so the referees were breaking it up, and that was it. That was it with that segment. And so they set up their match, later on tonight, which I didn't care about. Right after this, we had an interview from Chris Jericho. So Alex Marvez, he tried to interview Chris Jericho. And Jericho, he didn't get to say anything. He didn't get to say anything because he got attacked by the Pinnacle. So the Pinnacle had beat down Chris Jericho, and they had dragged him out to the ring. And, they started beating down Chris Jericho. They gave him a triple power driver, a triple spike power driver to Jericho. And so, the commentary team and everybody else was wondering, like, where is the Inner Circle? Why isn't the Inner Circle out here? And so they showed a camera in the back. So the camera showed the back, and the Inner Circle, they were locked in their locker room. So the Pinnacle had locked the Inner Circle in their own locker room. And so they showed the Inner Circle breaking down the door. And so it took them time to break down the door so they can go out and help Jericho. And so they would beat down Jericho, the Pinnacle, where they were beating down Jericho. And so you had Iron Mike Tyson came out. So Mike Tyson came out, and they promoted Mike Tyson, a week before. Before Dynamite came on, they promoted Mike Tyson, which was a counter program move. And so Mike Tyson, he came out and he helped Chris Jericho. He had fought off, Shawn Spears. He chased off the Pinnacle, but Shawn Spears, he was still in the ring. And so he took out Shawn Spears with punches. So he started laying in punches on Spears. And so the Pinnacle had to drag Spears out of the ring. And so right after that, we had the Inner Circle. They came out and they chased off the Pinnacle. And so right after that, we had Jericho and Mike Tyson. They embraced, they hugged each other, shook hands and everything. And that was it. And so with this, I did not understand this. I did not understand why Mike Tyson came out and helped Chris Jericho after they had a beef 10 years ago. Why is he out here helping Chris Jericho? And the last time they were in the ring, they were about to tear each other's heads off. They were about to beat each other down. So why is it that now Mike Tyson wants to help Chris Jericho? I don't know, because Mike Tyson, he don't have anything to do with the Inner Circle or the Pinnacle. So I don't understand why he was there to help Chris Jericho. But yeah, that was it with that. Wasn't a fan of it. But yeah, that was it with that. And so right after this, we had Tony Schiavone interviews Dr. Britt Baker and Rebel. Yeah, she talked about, Elevation, the show, Elevation. She's going to get some wins on Elevation, and that was it. And yeah, she was talking about Thunder Rosa for a little bit, and that was it with that. And so right after this, we had a match, and it was with the women. It was the Bunny with the Butcher, the Blade, and Matt Hardy in her corner versus Ty Conti with the Dark Order and -1 Brody Jr. and Hikaru Shida, who is the AEW Women's Champion. And with this match, man, I did not care about this match. I did not care about this match at all. Didn't care. And so we had a pump kick to Bunny, and then Bunny, she had tripped up Conti on a ring apron, and then we had a suplex to Conti on the floor, and then we had a shotgun drop kick to Conti into the guardrail, and then we had a super kick to Conti, and Conti, she got kicked out, and then Matt Hardy tried to get involved in the match, distracting Conti. And so so the Bunny, she tried to take advantage of it, but she failed. And then Ty Conti, she had hit one of her finishing moves, the Ty KO, to the Bunny, and the Bunny, she had kicked out. And then the Bunny, she had took out Hikaru Shida from at ringside. And then so a brawl had broke out, outside the ring with the Dark Order and the Hardy family office and Hikaru Shida. And so yeah, to end the match, so yeah, the bunny tried to use the kendo stick, but Hikaru Shida ended up taking the kendo stick away from the bunny. And so to end the match, we had Tai Conti. She hit her finishing move, the DD tie, to the bunny to win the match. So Tai Conti, she wins the match, and that was it. It was a must win match for the bunny. Not for the bunny. A must win match for Tai Conti because she lost to Nyla Rose I think it was the week before that. But I did not care about this match because of the interference and all that stuff. And I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of these interferences, outside of the ring because it take away from the match. But yeah, did not care about this match. And so yeah, right after this, we had a video package of Red Velvet and Jade Cargill, their rivalry.
I finally figured out what your deal is with me. Why you keep looking for me.
Almost made me break my heel. I already told you I'm that bitch.
Because you know that night when you beat me on national television, you knew right then and there that you could barely get the job done.
Oh my God, Red Velvet!
You call yourself that bitch? You better be that bitch that gets the job done.
And that was it. So they will have a match. Jade Cargill and Red Velvet, they will have a match, later along the line in the future. And so yeah, right after this was the main event. And it was a trios match. And it was Kenny by God Omega, who is the AEW World Champion, with Don Callis in his corner, and the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, versus Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks, who are the AEW World Tag Team Champions. That's Matt and Nick Jackson. And, this match was all over the place with these multi-man matches. Like, I try to take as many notes as I can, but I cannot take notes in this match. And I said that last night in my Impact Wrestling review, And so yeah, we started off the match. We had Omega and Matt Jackson. They were pushing each other. They were pushing and shoving each other. And so yeah, we had drop kicks to Omega drop kicks to Omega and Anderson from one of the Bucks. And so we had a triple tope suicida from the Bucks and Moxley. And so we had Moxley, he kicked Anderson over and over and over again. And then so the heels, they had took control of the match. And so yeah, the baby faces, they ended up fighting back. Matt, he had fought back. And so we had a hot tag to Jon Moxley. He took out Gallows and Omega. And he German suplex Omega, and Gallows and Anderson. And so yeah, we had a big boot to Moxley from Gallows. And then, Gallows was giving body shots and uppercuts to Moxley. And we had a hot tag to Nick. He took out Gallows and Anderson and Omega. And we had a diving stomp to Gallows, followed up by a backstabber to Anderson from Matt. And so yeah, we had a spine buster to Nick from Anderson. Carl Anderson has the best spine buster in the business, man. Carl Anderson does. And so yeah, Matt, he had tagged himself in. And so Matt and Omega, they were face to face. They stared off at each other. And so they started fighting. They started fighting, going back and forth. We had a DDT to Omega. And so we had Matt, he tried to hit a super kick on Omega, but he hesitated. It looked like he didn't want to do it. And so Omega, he had slapped Matt in the face. So he slapped him in his face. And so that's when Matt, he started to unload on Omega. And so we had a super kick to Omega from Matt. A super kick to Anderson from Matt. And so we had Omega, he had his Snapdragon suplex to Matt. And then he had a V-trigger. Well, he tried to hit a V-trigger on Matt Jackson. But Moxley, he had stopped it from happening. And then we had a power driver to Omega from Matt. And he kicks out. And so, yeah, the Bucks, they went for their tag team finishing move. The more bang for your buck to Omega. But Anderson had broke up the pin. And then we had an outside dive to the Good Brothers from Nick. And then they tried to go for their finishing move. The Bucks did. They tried to go for their finishing move, the BTE trigger on Omega, but they stopped it. They stopped it again. So they stopped it the first time, and then they tried to go for the BTE trigger again. And so that they stopped it again. So John Moxley, he was angry. He was angry at that. He was pushing the Bucks around, like telling them, like, dude, what are you doing in the match? And so John Moxley had got in, pushed the Bucks out of the way, and hit 2 paradigm shifts to Kenny Omega. So he hit 2 paradigm shifts to Omega, and he gave a chokehold. He had locked Omega in a chokehold, and so yeah. But the Bucks, they were worried about Kenny Omega's health and everything in the match, so they ended up super kicking John Moxley. So the Bucks had turned heel. They turned heel, and so Eddie Kingston. That's when Eddie Kingston had came out. Eddie Kingston came out in his leg cast, and he was upset about this. He was mad about this. And so, yeah, and the Good Brothers ended up taking out Eddie Kingston, and they gave him a magic killer on the stage. And so, yeah, they gave him a magic killer, and then they gave Moxley a magic killer. And to win the match, so the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega, they won the match. And right after the match, we had the Good Brothers and Omega, they were attacking Moxley. And so they ended up holding up John Moxley, and the Bucks had super kicked John Moxley, to complete that heel turn, to give you, to let you know, hey, we turn heel, we on the dark side now. And so the crowd was upset. They chanted, you sold out to the Bucks, you sold out. And so yeah, and then they try to go for the too sweet. And then yeah, they ended up hugging each other at the end. So that was it. So the Bucks are heels now. They're on the dark side. They're bad guys. And so, I said, now that the Bucks are heels, now that they're heels, like, who would take the titles off of the Bucks? I don't know. I can see Jurassic Express versus the Bucks. We've seen a match, but the Bucks are going to be heels, so it's going to be a different match. So I'll love to see Jurassic Express go up against the Bucks. That's just me, man. Like, I don't see Rey Fenix and Pac beating the Bucks for the titles, because you just turned the Bucks heel. So the Bucks, they need to win since they turned heel. And it was a plan, man. It looked like it was a plan, man, from Don Callis. He tried to get in Matt and Nick Jackson's head. And so, yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention the next week's show. So next week's show is going to be Darby Allin, the TNT champion, versus Matt Hardy in a TNT Championship match. And it's a Falls Count Anywhere match. So that's next week. And we have the Young Bucks versus the Death Triangle. It's Pac and Rey Fenix for the AEW World Championship, and that's next week too, which will be a great match. And we have the in-ring debut of Anthony Ogogo with QT Marshall in his corner next week. And we have Red Velvet. So yeah, it's next week. So we have Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill next week. And finally we have Dax Harwood with Cash Wheeler in his corner versus Chris Jericho with Sammy Guevara in his corner. So all other members of the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle members are banned from ringside. And we have the special ringside enforcer, Mike Tyson, Iron Mike Tyson. So that's next week. So they bring him Tyson back again on next week's show. So yeah, that was it with the show. Good show. Was not better than TakeOver. I'll tell you that. It was not better than TakeOver. But this was still a good show, man. And so yeah. This was the AEW review for April 7th, 2021 on D Ryan Awesome Show. And if you like this video, man, what are you waiting for, man? Hit the thumbs up. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And right next to that subscribe button, there's a bell. Make sure you click on that bell so you'll be the first ones to know when my next video will come out, because I'm here each and every single week. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. Follow me on Twitter at Ryan Awesome Show. And comment down below. Tell me how you felt about this episode of AEW Dynamite. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys for night one for WrestleMania, and night 2 for WrestleMania. So Saturday today for WrestleMania night 1, and then Sunday for WrestleMania night 2. And I will try to get my Hardcore Justice pay-per-view in, the Hardcore Justice Impact Wrestling Hardcore Justice pay-per-view, in either on Sunday or Monday. And yeah, but it's been a busy week, man. A busy week for us content creators, man, with the videos, shows, the back-to-back shows, getting the recordings out and uploading. Yeah, it's just been crazy. But yeah, man. And yeah, and if you missed my last week's episode or my last week's review on AEW Dynamite, the video is going to be right up here. The video is going to be right up here in this corner. And also, the link to that video is going to be down in the description down below. And yeah, man. And once again, guys, thank you for the support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this has been the Ryan Awesome Show. Take care, stay safe, and that's that.